the Trump administration has weaponized civil rights enforcement. Surprise, surprise. They've done so for their own agenda. Trump and his henchmen just forced top lawyers from the Justice Department Civil Rights Division out of their jobs. These are people who have been enforcing civil rights for decades. They're making the division instead focus on culture war issues like banning what they call men and women's sports, which is just another trans antagonism, and stopping, quote, radical indoctrination in schools, which of course is just about teaching about, I don't know, history, truth, justice, whatever. So the new Justice Department, the Trump Justice Department, Civil Rights Division, they ain't got nothing to say about protecting voters or fighting housing discrimination. Ironically, or paradoxically, it's a civil rights division that's attacking civil rights. Even folks on the inside of the division, some of them are speaking off the record, and they're calling it a, quote, bloodbath, as veteran lawyers are getting reassigned to pointless roles. And now, instead of prosecuting hate crimes or police brutality, they're looking into gun rights violations and determining whether colleges are tolerating anti-Semitism. Now, let's be clear. Gun rights should not be violated. I believe in the value of the Second Amendment. I believe that people have a right to defend themselves in their homes. But we're at a moment where between the gun lobby and Trump's people, they make it seem as if any attempt to promote or ensure or enforce responsible gun ownership and to limit the amount of guns that are out in the world and to certainly limit gun violence, they're saying any efforts to do that is an attack on the Second Amendment, it's an attack on the Constitution, it's an attack on your liberty. And so they spend all their time investigating that. And same point for anti-Semitism. I believe we absolutely should be challenging any institution, not just colleges and universities, but any institution that is, quote unquote, tolerating anti-Semitism. But the problem is they're not actually looking to end anti-Semitism. In fact, many people in the Trump administration and many of the messages from Trump's campaign and his presidency and his campaign and his new presidency, a lot of them have trafficked in anti-Semitic language and discourse. And so, yes, they are pro-Israel and also deeply anti-Semitic, and that is the problem. But now the Justice Department is focusing on those people's interests and needs, and by those people, I mean the anti-Semites and the gun extremists. And they're also framing any support of Palestine or Palestinian rights and Palestinian self-determination and Palestinian nationhood, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They're framing that as definitionally anti-Semitic. So they make it so that everything is bad. Everything that they like is now protected by civil rights, and everything that we need isn't. They're literally re-engineering how civil rights are enforced in America. If the Civil Rights Division, which has been fighting for equal protection under the law since 1957, is now being repurposed to fight these stupid culture war battles, you can bet it's going to leave marginalized communities even more vulnerable. This is a clear signal of the lengths that the Trump administration is willing to go to rewrite the rules when it comes to who gets protections and who gets ignored. Regular folks, especially regular folks in marginalized communities, minority communities, racial minority communities, and especially, they need to understand how these changes will affect their rights and how the current moment is being used, weaponized even against them. Now, it's not just this moment, it's not just this administration, it's not just this political current, it's all of the system. But at this moment, the stakes are high. We can't pretend that this moment is just like every other moment, because it is not.